Here we're entering Hemingway Park to see the notorious bighorn sheep. It's a nice little park in the city of Boulder City, which was the city established when they were building the dam. And for whatever reason, the sheep come down here, especially in the summertime, graze here, sit in the shade, and do what bighorn sheep do. When I first got here, I was sort of timid about approaching them, and I'm still keeping a very healthy distance away from them, because those horns can weigh up to 30 pounds, and they can apply a lot of pressure at 20 miles per hour, butting you with those horns. But apparently, they've been coming here for so long that as long as people don't mess with them, they just sit here and chew on the cud like they're doing presently. So what you see here is a male with the C-curl horns, the big horns, and the remainder are females. How can you tell? Notice the female horns are shorter and don't undergo the complete C-curl. Also, they tend to be lighter in weight and shorter in stature. And this is interesting because you can see Junior over here with his mother. So they're watching, but as long as, again, you don't intimidate them or mess with them, then you're probably okay. Well, these things can weigh, the males can weigh up to between 250 and 300 pounds. So you don't want to mess with them. And then the females are like 50 pounds or so lighter in weight. Notice their coloration. These are this grayish color and have white around the snout and on their rear ends. And then they have that stripe that goes from the rear up the back.
Those are the two that were in the grass. The other one is over there. Take a few steps this way. That way. You have the other side of that tree. You just walking up the hill.
Oh yeah, I see 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I only saw 2.
Oh, look at, they're going to start butting heads over here. You see them?
Okay.
You see them putting their horns together? They're going to start.
Look at them.
Now at first I thought those over there were the only ones that were here, but then as I moved around I found there was another grouping or herd down there. And of course you have this beautiful view of Lake Mead. And the islands. And of course the hallmark is Fortification Hill, the big mesa-like looking hill in the background. That is a male. Notice the C curl of the horns, larger horns. And of course there's a little sack hanging down from the rear end. White bottom, white stripe going down the legs. These particular bighorn sheep go by the name of Ovis, canadensis, nelsoni. And these are the low desert type of bighorns versus the ones in the Sierra Nevada and in the Rocky Mountains. Those tend to be woollier and larger. In stature than these. It was first thought that they were all the same, but some DNA testing showed that there was an actual separation of the species, and as a result of that there are about 5 or 7 subspecies of these animals. Now they sort of hang around in the summertime, but rutting season starts in the fall. And rutting season is synonymous with mating season. And that's when the males get a little frisky and start attacking the females. And that's when, in order to control who gets the female, the males do that head-butting routine. It's said that they can go up to 20 miles an hour and then slam into each other's forehead right near the base of the horns. It's a wonder they don't knock themselves out, but apparently the horns are hollow, which act as a cushion, and they're also connected to the frontal sinuses, which have septa in them, or little partitions, and that tends probably to have an accordion-like effect so that it reduces the shock of the horns clashing together. These animals eat primarily the grass, as they're doing here, and they also eat orbs, which are leafy legume-like plants. And of course in the low desert areas like out here, they'll even eat some of the brush. In the wild, you probably would not be able to get this close to them like you can here, because their contact with humans is very rare, and they tend to run away. Now I read somewhere where even though these bighorn sheep have hooves that are spongy and sticky so that they can climb into rock ledges and precipices, part of their mortality rate is related to the few that actually try to climb a narrow ledge and fall off and die. The rest of their deaths are due to natural causes, hunters, and loss of habitat. Wouldn't you like to live in that house there and have this as your view every day? So it's getting hot out here. It's supposed to be 110 to 12 today. So it appears that most of the sheep are content to just rest in the shade. Now what about water? I've read where they can go up to 3 days or more without water. Some say even longer. Right now I'm approximately, less than 20 yards from this particular sheep.